That would be absolutely fantastic. Joined now by Springdale girls basketball coach Scotty Person. How'd the red and white go last night?
Went good. 131 to 130.
Really? So how much defense been played?
Started both teams at 88 to make sure all the lights were lit up. Had a good job. Had a good game. I had got the kind of thing I was looking for. Got a lot of aggressiveness, competition for the rebound, things that I've really pushed in the preseason. So I feel good about it. And most importantly, no injuries.
That's the important part. You come out of the scrimmages with no injuries, getting ready to play regular season games. Talk about your club a little bit as you go into 2010, 2011. I know the offseason has been competitive for you guys. Kids pushing other kids to get better and to get that spot, get those minutes. Talk about what your expectation is and talk about your team a little bit.
Two kids I brought with me today, Jasmine Gilligan, 6'1" post player. She is doing everything that you could ask for from the team. She has an intensity that I've been hoping to see, and it really came out even Thursday night with the light game. She was an all-conference player last year. The light bulb really went off for her. But, she's had a great career, but she has really elevated her game. I could not be more happy with her, and expecting a lot of good things from her this year. Another kid that I brought today, McKenna Robertson. McKenna was thrown into the fire early as a sophomore last year. We wanted to bring her along slowly, but for the second year in a row, we lost one of our best guards to a season-ending injury in December. So I pulled McKenna aside and said, congratulations, you're now the new starting point guard, and I'd like to introduce to you Morgan Hook and Sierra Shipley. And so she learned from her mistakes, but she did even better than I really expected her to. From February until now, she's probably our most improved player on the team. She was already pretty good. And so I coached her off and on since she was in second grade. She knows all the cliches you can throw out about a point guard, she's that. My quarterback on the floor, extension of the coach. I feel very comfortable with the ball in her hands. And so I'm just thrilled to get that she's just a junior and I have her back 2 years.
Yeah, we talk a lot about the underclassmen making an impact on the guys and the girls' side here at 7A West. Especially on the girls' side, you have someone that steps into the point guard role like that. Sometimes girls aren't as verbal and aren't as willing to maybe step on some toes and hurt some feelings. But that's a big thing that you need to have happen from a leadership role at your point guard position.
That's true. And McKenna's always been a leader by example. This year, being a junior, I expect her to be a little more vocal. We're having to make sure the other kids understand that she is going to be the one that makes those calls. Some of our seniors, even in practice, have tried to call a couple of plays here and there. We've had to say, listen, that's not your job. And so McKenna's done a great job of that. She's becoming more vocal. And Jasmine takes care of things from the senior side.
Some of your goals and expectations for this year, some of the things that you've put up on your dry erase board in the locker room, these are the things that we want to accomplish in 2010.
Well, we want to win games. And I know it's simplistic, but when you look at our program, this is a pivotal year for our program because if you look at Springdale AS after the split, we went through 3 very difficult years. We won 6 games in 3 years after the split with Harbor. And in year 4, we had more patents on the back telling us what a great job we had done. We went from 2 wins the previous year to 14 wins, got to the 7A state tournament. But when we played those upper echelon teams, we did not compete at a high level. We were usually mercy-ruled by the beginning of the 4th quarter. One thing we wanted to do last year was really become competitive with everybody. Even late in the year, we played 3 games back-to-back at home against Rogers, Fayetteville, and Northside, and took all of those games in the 4th quarter. And not to over-exaggerate, because they were by no means one-possession games at the end, but the clock wasn't running either. So I think Bobby and Preston would both tell you that for a team that was out of the playoff race that last week, we gave a pretty good account of ourselves. The problem was we lost 5 conference games by a combined total of 20 points. And so one thing we've tried to identify is just what was it that kept us from getting over the hump in those games. And there was about 2 or 3 possessions every game where we couldn't cut off the baseline and didn't get that tough rebound. Didn't execute the play like we should have, and we absolutely had to have a basket. So that's one thing we tried to do. We had a lot of practices back in September where we never got basketballs out. And we're trying to identify who's going to be tough, who's going to come through in the clutch. And so that's one of our goals, is just execute every single possession, every single game. Not pick and choose what days we want to practice, but do it every day.
And it's tough sometimes for you and your staff because you understand it's got to be baby steps to get to where you want to go, but that's hard to deal with sometimes.
Absolutely. That's something, as we have tried to rebuild this program, we've had to be very patient. And when we start listing goals, the last thing we wanted to do is go in the locker room and say, let's win the state championship. Because in year 1, we were pulling kids out of study hall and PE classes to put together a team. We had 3 returners. Technically, the day I got the job at Springdale, we were the largest high school in the state, and I had 3 kids on the team. And so we've had to be patient, make or set goals that can be achievable. And I feel like we're at the point now where we can quit talking about the split. We've got a pretty good core group coming back. We've got a JV program in place that we're going to have some kids who play varsity this year that no one will know because they came up the right way through the JV as opposed to being thrown in the sophomores and getting their doors blown off.
Scotty Person, the head girls basketball coach at Springdale High. I appreciate you and your girls coming out to meet you today. We appreciate it. Good luck in 2010.
Thank you for doing this, Mr. Barr and all of the people here at Take a Water Park. What a great event. Really appreciate you helping us get out the word of high school athletics.
I appreciate you guys coming very, very much. Let's move to the guys' side now. We'll bring in Brad Stamps of Springdale High. Again, still to come on the media day, we will tabulate our poll, give you the 7A West guys and girls favorites for 2010, and also guys and girls player of the year candidates for 2010 as well. Coach Stamps joins us, and how's your off season been?
Oh, it's been pretty good. We've been working on some mental toughness, and with our group, we've got some talent on the floor, but what we've really been stressing to our kids is talent alone doesn't win. It's hard work and putting that time in. And so I've been proud of our kids for that.
And it's a thing sometimes it's difficult to teach work ethic. You've got we talk about high school kids. You've got so many other things going on, but for this amount of time, you need to be focused on what we've got going on, and work ethic is a part of that. And sometimes some people take to it easily, and some don't.
That's right. We talked yesterday at the end of practice about the teams that win consistently are the teams that play hard all the time, that play smart, and are committed to each other. And so we've tried to use that with our guys. That we're not going to win by just showing up. We've got to work hard every single day. We've got to push each other. We've got to believe that we can do it.
Talk about some of your kids in 2010. Who are you looking forward to as maybe a sleeper player, a guy that needs to step up, and then some of your veterans?
Some of my veterans are here today. Shelton Baird, 2-year starter coming back. Score, Curtis Evans, 6'7" post kid coming back. Started the last 2 years. Both of those kids, are seniors. They've been through the wars. They've, played in 60-something varsity games, and so, I've kind of put a lot on their shoulders, being seniors and coming back and being through those, and, stepping up with leadership not only on the floor but off the floor as well. So I've been proud of those two. We've got Tony Dennis, who started every game last year at the point guard position towards ACL in the off season, and so we're waiting for him to get back. Obviously, we miss him. We don't know, kind of what that timeline is yet, but we'll find out soon. And then I've got a couple of sophomores, that have come in from Southwest Junior High that are going to give some help. A kid named Alex Charlo, 6'3" kid that's a shooter, does some good things. And Sean Stark, another kid that has some athleticism that we're going to rely on. And so we like the group that's coming up mixed with the kids we had last year. So.
Talk about Shelton a little bit. The kid that when I looked at some of the polls, and Rogers Heritage couldn't be here today because their scrimmage is going on. So North Side and South Side sent their polls in. Coach Burnett and the folks down there sent their stuff in. I see Shelton Baird a lot for preseason player of the year votes. Talk about him and what he means to your squad.
He means a great deal. Obviously, as a sophomore, obviously I wasn't there yet, but he led the state in scoring, 7A scoring. And when I came in, and we had several conversations at that point about, what's important to you, and is it more important to lead the state in scoring and finish in the middle of the pack, and maybe make it to the state tournament? Is it more important to you to, kind of be a playmaker and get everybody else involved and have a chance to win? And he told me all he cares about is winning. And it's been baby steps, but I've been proud of him and how he's matured as a player. He obviously means a great deal to us.
How difficult is it in 7A West? Talk about how difficult 7A West is. we Fayetteville and Rogers and all the schools, North Side, South Side, traditionally good programs as well, with a guy like Cameron Adams down the South Side, a great player. This league has a lot of high caliber players. Talk about how difficult it is in 7A West.
Very difficult. You look around the room, and then on Tuesday and Friday nights, the coaches you're competing against, the players you're competing against. In my opinion, there's no other. It's obviously the best league. You've got the best coaches. Coach Barnes, has been in it forever, and I agree with the Hall of Fame statement. And Kyle Adams, who's been coaching for years, and he may be new this year, but he's been in it for a long time. And Jason McMahon. You got everybody in this league that's been successful you know, previous. And so it's a battle. You know, every night you got to be ready to play. You know, all the polls and all the preseason stuff to me doesn't mean anything. It's who shows up on Tuesday and Friday nights and performs. And our kids understand that. And so it's a blessing to be in this league. Proud of it, and yeah, it's a battle.
Some of your expectations for the upcoming season?
Well, obviously we want to, you know, to have a chance to compete for championships, and that's something we've talked about with our kids. But with that being said, we know that, you know, we've got to continue to put in the work. Our kids have bought into that. You know, we're ready to play somebody. You know, we just Scotty had his red white game, and he's sharing with me some stories about it. We haven't had a chance to, you know, to turn that scoreboard on and to do that. So we're looking forward to getting out and competing and see what we can do.
Coach, we appreciate you and your kids coming out today and being part of our first high school basketball media day. Good luck this season.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate it.